So, viewers of our channel will probably recognize Margot Robbie primarily as Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad movie. Though obviously she's well known from she's kind of been making a blitz in Hollywood, starting with Wolf of Wall Street, and she's recently done Focus and Legend of Tarzan. Well,
Who is she in Legend of Tarzan?
she's Jane.
Oh,
Yes.
there you go. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the Disney animated.
No,
Tarzan
that's Minnie
live-
Driver.
Right.
This is, I think, yes. This was in the new one this summer. So she actually had two big blockbusters this summer. Both of those with Warner Brothers.
Right.
And that has actually led Warner Brothers, we learned last week, to create what's called a first look deal between Margot Robbie's company Lucky Chap and Warner Brothers, that they will have the first chance to say no to any productions that she might herself come up with.
Right.
And within that deal, we actually have two confirmations. We have one, she's going to be working on a movie called Queen of the Air, which is an adaptation of a novel, I understand, which I haven't read, but also a Suicide Squad movie, or Suicide Squad based movie. It's supposed to be what they're calling a Harley Quinn spin-off movie. And that's all we know about it so far. And that had been rumored earlier, but it's confirmed now. Warner Brothers will be doing a Harley Quinn movie in the future with Margot Robbie as an exec producer, or actually a proper producer.
Now, do you know, is this a thing that could conceivably happen, or there's actual traction? There's things happening here.
No, so the first look deal is a long term, maybe could happen thing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, until something starts filming, you never know. But Warner Brothers co-announced with her that this deal was happening, and that the Queen of the Air and Harley Quinn were the first two they were going to do together.
Right.
So at at whatever level you take on face value that they're working on anything, they co-announced this. This wasn't an actor saying I sure would like to do.
Right.
The studio has said we're doing it. But regardless, Harley Quinn, those of you who have watched our Who is Harley Quinn video, linked here, will know that Harley, most of her career has been sort of joined at the hip with either the Joker or other characters. She is best known as parts of teams. She's not very well known for solo things to do. So I am actually curious if we're going to get a Harley Quinn movie, if that's going to be the name on the poster, what might that look like? What do you think, Dave? What kind of lineup, what kind of story do you want from such a movie?
Are we talking about what I think will happen, or what I would like to see happen?
Well, let's start with what you would like to have happen.
What I would like to have happen is a good Harley and Joker story, because that relationship to me is fascinating. The dynamic, the codependency, the Joker's there's no abuse of her, and her coming back for more, and his not caring about her, and her being in love with him. I love that. I love that about that character, that depth of the relationship.
And that was my favorite part of the Suicide Squad movie, was that whole dynamic. I mean, it's that weird codependency thing they've got going.
And apparently some of the cutscenes played up more the fact that she feels much more strongly about the Joker than the Joker ever does about her.
Right, which is true to the comics.
That he sees her more as a possession.
So that's what you would like to have happen.
Yeah.
Presumably Jared Leto?
Presumably. I mean, I don't know why you would change it.
Okay.
Right.
So what are the barriers? Why do you think that might not happen?
Hearing a lot of negative talk about Jared. Like, Jared Leto apparently was very unhappy with how the whole Suicide Squad thing shook out. I don't know if he's contractually obligated to do more movies or not, but there's a chance that we might never see him play the Joker again, ever.
Okay.
And I think it would be weird to switch to a different Joker if Leto is not doing it. You know what I mean? I could also see, if you want to, then the trouble is anything that the Joker has got a heavy hand in, the Joker is going to become the star of.
Well, that's why I don't know how. I would also love to see that. That would be my first choice, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, it's hard not to put Joker's name on the poster at that point.
Right. Because he's just that kind of character. He's going to just take over. It's like The Dark Knight, right? It's not really a Batman movie. It's a Joker movie.
So, but in your best case scenario, Margot Robbie, who I hear had a good relationship with Jared, would call him up and say, hey, I'm producing the movie. You can trust me. It's going to be great. Let's come up with a story together. And maybe he would.
And maybe the story is Harley's doing her thing, whatever, her and Poison Ivy, whoever thing, and Joker is super pissed off that she's doing something without him, which would be a Joker-ish.
Okay.
To me, a very Joker-ish motivation, right? And so part of the movie is like him. It's almost they're at odds. I could see him being the antagonist in the movie. Would be a movie I would enjoy seeing.
That actually is the other question. Part of what I'm concerned is that she doesn't have a rogues gallery. She is a rogue.
Yeah.
So she doesn't actually. So that was part of what I was thinking about. So that's what you would like to have happen.
Yeah.
What do you if we can't have the Joker back, if we can't have Jared Leto, and they say, you know what, we're not going to put the Joker in without Jared, or we want to have a hiatus from the Joker.
Then it gets weird because now you have to have presumably Harley Quinn be the protagonist of the movie. So she has to be the character audiences identify with.
Right.
So she can't be the bad guy. Or if she's the bad guy, she has to be doing something that in some way audiences can get behind. Kind of like in Ocean's 11 or Dirty Dozen or something where it's like, we're bad people doing bad things, but the people we're doing it to are even worse. Or we're doing this kind of like Suicide Squad idea where it's like, what we're doing is actually going to accomplish a good end.
Do you know what movie we tried to do that in? Catwoman.
Yes. Well,
Halle Berry Catwoman. We tried to have the antagonist be the protagonist.
Yeah. So, that being said, so I'm like, I don't know. You can't have her, if it's a Harley Quinn movie, like you can't have her facing you off against Batman or, Nightwing or something like that because they have to win. Right? So,
yep.
So what I think will happen is Harley gets recruited into basically to take down an actual really bad guy. And there's plenty in the DC to choose from, right?
So you think Amanda Waller sends her on a solo mission kind of?
Or even another criminal or somebody, right, where it's like we're taking down a worse criminal, right? Where it's like, criminal mastermind is like we're taking down what's his name? The serial killer who always carves the marks in his is a Batman villain.
You're talking about Hush? No.
Whatever. But there's the Batman. There's numerous DC villains that are like, no, this guy is like even other bad guys are like, this guy's just crazy.
Right.
Like he just wants to destroy the world or whatever. Right. So something like that where you can.
Okay.
There we go.
So a couple of thoughts I had. So obviously one of the things Margot said was that she actually wanted to really emphasize the female characters in the DC universe. That was the one little quote she'd had before she signed the deal. That was what and so a lot of people, Birds of Prey. So for those of you may or may not know Birds of Prey, it's traditionally made up of Barbara Gordon, whether she's walking or not walking. So either Batgirl or Oracle, Black Canary, and Huntress is usually the Birds of Prey. Although Poison Ivy has been part of Birds of Prey, and has Katana, has been part of Birds of Prey. So those are all, of course, that's a natural thought. Harley's never been part of it, so it could be Harley fighting those people, theoretically. But then again, as you say, those are all clearly good guys, and so it's hard for the audience to go for that. The other thing that actually a lot of you, audience, have asked us about, we didn't include in our last Harley video, was her romantic relationship with Poison Ivy. In the comics, they are a lesbian couple, which would obviously be very groundbreaking if they want to like one-up Marvel. It's like not only do we have a female lead, it's like female lesbian lead or whatever. Obviously, in the comics, that drives the Joker insane.
Right.
That she hooks up with Poison Ivy. So anyway, but in the comics, they become so enmeshed that actually it could be interesting that Harley has to either stop Poison Ivy or someone takes Poison Ivy. Like if they actually have this close relationship and they turn. Catwoman is actually involved in that comic storyline as well, as is the Riddler. So it might be interesting. Like, is it all bad guys, as you said? But when I say guys, girls. Like it almost sounds like
all villains.
All villains. But if Margot really wants to push this all female lead angle, those are some thoughts. Again, it's really hard for me to see it putting Harley's name as the one on the poster if it's Birds of Prey or whatever. So, but I think there's exciting options. And obviously, she was the highlight of Suicide Squad. I think they're going to sell tickets. And
I could very much see it. It would be keeping in character with Harley as well if like she's staying in an apartment building or whatever, and some other villain robs liquor store or whatever, kills her next door neighbor. landlady, whoever.
Right.
I could totally see Harley going after villain X for personal reasons, and going to incredibly extreme lengths to do it because she's
Right.
a very unhinged
And I think
person, right?
it's going to be natural either way. I think it's almost going to start with Harley trying to get over the Joker in some way. Like that's
Right.
her mental state is probably, I'm not with the Joker anymore, whether he's in the movie or not. So there's going to be a good starting point. Given that they're now adopted the white skin origin, she can't go back to being a psychiatrist like in some of the comic stories or whatever else. So, but those are all possibles. What do you think? What would you like to see in a solo Harley Quinn movie? Should the Birds of Prey be involved? Should it involve other villains or heroes? What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and we look forward to seeing your answers.